Hey y'all, I'm Elisa.
I'm Samantha.
Welcome to Watch for Deer. So this is our first episode on this podcast.
It's so exciting.
I know, I'm so excited. So just kind of bear with us. This is going to be like super informal, just kind of like, obviously two best friends sitting around. The way we're going to structure this is every week I'm going to bring a story or an account or something that I'm going to research. And then Samantha is going to sit in and I'm going to tell her the story and it's kind of going to be like her blind reaction.
I'm just going to react to stuff.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm just here to react to Elisa's stories that she finds.
She's just here for moral support. But, so anyways, do you have any idea what the first episode is?
I know the name of it. You sent me the name of it. I know the name of it,
Okay.
But that's it. I know it's Sodder Children.
Sodder Children.
I don't
West
even know the
Virginia.
name of it then.
So we are doing the Sodder Children disappearance. This happened in Fayetteville, West Virginia. So I thought it was a good place to start, especially it being, spooky month. I love the month of October, all things spooky. So we're going to start off with this.
Is this is going to scare me? Is this going to scare me?
No, it's not going to scare you. No, you should be able to sleep tonight.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready?
I mean, I'm as ready as I'm going to be, Elisa, with half the stories that you tell me. So I'm trying. I'll try.
I should have got you broken in well over the past, I don't know,
20 years.
20 years?
Yes.
Yeah, about 20 years. Okay, so here we go. This is the story of the Sodder Children disappearances from Fayetteville, West Virginia. Okay, so on Christmas Eve, December 24th of 1945, a fire destroyed the Sodder residence in Fayetteville, West Virginia. And at the time, it was occupied by George and Jennie Sodder. 9 of their 10 children, the oldest son was away. He was away in the Army, and I think his name was Joseph.
What year did you say this was?
1945. It's been a hot minute.
Okay.
Like, 78 years?
Yeah.
Look there. Mental math.
I hope you're right, because I just agreed to it.
So, anyways. During the fire, George and Jennie and 4 of their kids escaped. The surviving Sodder family believed for the rest of their lives that the 5 missing children survived. Okay. So.
What do you mean? What?
Yes.
Hold on. Hold on.
9 children were in the home with Jennie and George. I feel like this is the start to a bad joke.
So some of them got out, some of them didn't.
Yep.
Did they not find the bodies?
Let's continue.
Okay.
So, the Sodders had never rebuilt the house. Instead of rebuilding, they converted the site into like a memorial garden to their kids. George Sodder was born with the name Giorgio Soddu in Sardinia, Italy in 1895. And he immigrated to the U.S. about 13 years later with an older brother who had came back home after they cleared customs in Ellis Island. And of course, just like, we Americans, we like to give all these great names an American name. So instead of Giorgio, it was changed to George. George eventually found work on the railroads in Pennsylvania, carrying water and other supplies to workers. After a few years, he took permanent work as a driver, and then he started his own trucking company, like hauling fill dirt to construction sites and, like hauling for coal mines, things like that. Okay. He met Jennie Cipriani.
I feel like you're probably butchering these names.
Oh, I'm 100% from, yes,
so
100%.
Put a thing on the front of it that's like, we don't know how to
I
say
did
these
say
names,
we're from Southern West Virginia, so it's not like I speak Italian.
Okay.
Mozzarella. That was really good pizza, by the way.
Thank you.
It's very good. She's a really good cook. Anywho, but he married Jennie, and they settled outside nearby Fayetteville, and they had a large population of Italian immigrants in the little community that they settled in. They built a big 2-story house. probably about 2 miles north of town. And in 1923, they had their first of their 10 children. I mean, I guess that was common back then, but I have 2, and I'm like, that sounds
like
plenty.
That's like a lot of kids.
That's a lot of kids. That's a lot of kids. However, they were one of the most respected middle-class families around, so I guess, they could afford 10 kids, so.
Well, I think back then, too, you had a lot of kids because they had to help run the farms
exactly.
and stuff.
Help feed the pigs.
Yeah.
So chickens, cows.
Just gave birth to your labor, your work labor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You had to keep the farm up and running.
Right.
And 2, you had to have somebody to hand it down to, because you come here, you settle, you had to have, you had to have a line to keep going. So George had strong opinions about many subjects and was not shy about how he felt about the Italian dictator Benito Mussolini.
Mm-hmm. You did good on that.
Yeah, he was not shy about it. He was very against Mussolini, and he had a lot of strong arguments with other members of the immigrant community.
Are they in West Virginia at this time right now? Like when you're talking right now, is this happening in Fayetteville? What you're saying now?
This is in 1923.
This is Fayetteville.
Background.
They're not in West Virginia yet.
Yes, they are in West Virginia. Yes.
And he's mad. Okay, go ahead.
He's still, yes. So he immigrated.
Upset.
He's still upset with what's going on in his home country.
Is there a lot of Italians going?
This is an Italian community.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Go
ahead. They settled in this little Italian community, just out. I think it's like 2 miles, from Fayetteville. And he was very, religion, politics, 2 things you don't really talk about.
Right.
They're very headstrong in what they believe. So he had a lot of arguments with other people in the community over, Mussolini.
So he probably had a lot of enemies.
He probably pissed a lot of people off.
So many people upset.
So many people. So let's talk about Christmas Eve.
Okay.
1945, they celebrated Christmas Eve. So Marion was 19. She was the oldest daughter. She had a job at the dime store in downtown Fayetteville. And she worked and she surprised her younger kids, her kid sister, kid brother, with new toys she bought. Mm-hmm. So they were like super excited that, Big Sis bought some toys. So they're like, they didn't want to go to bed. So they're like, okay, you guys can stay up. And, just. So Jennie was like, yeah, you guys can stay up. That's fine. Just make sure that you turn off the lights, close the curtains, do your chores, make sure the chickens are fed, don't stay up too late. So Jennie goes to bed and she's asleep. And at 12:30 a.m., she is woken up by the ringing of a telephone. Okay. So she answers the phone and she can hear a lot of like laughter and glasses clinking in the background. So, like a party scene, Christmas Eve party.
Okay.
And there's a lady on the other end of the phone. She doesn't recognize the voice and she's asking for some name that she doesn't recognize. And she's like, no, sorry. Okay, wrong number. And they hang up. So as she's going back up the stairs to go to bed, she notices the light's still on. So she kind of peeks down and she sees that Marion is still asleep on the bed. Or on the couch, sorry. Sees that Marion's still asleep on the couch. And she's like, She's like, well, she figures she probably stayed up watching her, younger siblings and passed out on the couch. And the kids went up to the attic to bed. So she, Mom goes upstairs. She goes back to sleep. At 1 a.m., she is awakened again by the sound of an object hitting the roof. It hits, loud bang, and then it sounds like it rolls off the roof.
I'm telling you, that sounds like it was probably like a Molotov. Is it Molotov?
Molotov.
Cocktail.
That's very hard to say.
Is it? I don't know how to say it. But you know what it is. It's a bottle of glass or gas. With like a tissue, not a tissue, but like a handkerchief or something.
Yeah, like the old... That's probably what it was.
And I think they used those a lot back then. Maybe not as much as what I think they do for some reason, like when I think of 1920s, I can think of everybody have one of those and them just throwing them everywhere. Like,
you get a cocktail. You get a cocktail.
You make me mad, and I'm just going to throw that at you.
Throw this in your hayfield.
I think that I'm throwing hayfield.
Throw this in your hayfield.
I'm going to burn your cow's food up. I'm throwing your hayfield. Okay, go ahead.
So, she hears that hit. She hears it roll off her roof. And, she's a mom. She's tired. She's like, seriously? She's like, I ain't getting up. So she goes back to sleep. About 30 minutes later, she wakes back up and she can smell smoke. Okay, so she's smelling smoke and she gets up. And she finds the room that George uses for his office was on fire. Okay, so she wakes George up and they wake up the older two sons. And they're hollering, they're screaming, get out of the house is on fire. So both parents and 4 of their children, Marion, Sylvia, John, and George Jr., got out of the house.
So the 19-year-old that was on the couch got out too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, that's Marion. So they get out and they realize they're still missing 5 kids. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So John is, freaking out. He's trying to get back into the house. So he busts the window open, cuts his arm all to pieces. He can't get back in the house. The stairwell is already on fire. It's engulfed in flames. And he's like, okay, no big deal. He was like, I keep this ladder, this big 12-foot ladder beside, around the back of the house. I'll go get it. I'll put it up. I'll bust their window out. I'll go in. I'll get my babies.
Oh, God, that's so awful.
So he runs around the side of the house to get this ladder, and the ladder's gone. Okay? Mm-hmm. So, and not just gone like, oh, it knocked over or, whatever. It's gone. There's no trace of this ladder. So he's freaking out, trying to think. And he's like, the trucks, he's a truck driver. He owns his trucking company. He's like, I'll move these big trucks over. He was like, I'll climb on top of the truck. I'll bust the window out. I'm going to get my kids to safety. So he hops in the truck. He goes to start the truck and it won't start. Neither of these trucks will start after running perfectly.
Okay.
The day prior.
I have questions. Like I'm going to let you finish, but I'm going to write it down. So if they hear pencil scratching, because like I have a question about this.
Go for it.
So you go ahead and keep talking.
You keep your questions going. And so at this point, Marion runs to a neighbor's house. She's trying to get them to call the fire department. They're not getting a response. There's no operator answering the phone. There was somebody drove by. They had tried to call. They cannot get the fire department on the phone. They're unable to get the fire department to come help. So unfortunately, they had no other choice but to sit and watch this house go up in flames.
This is like the worst story ever, Lisa. Like the worst story ever. Like this is like the worst nightmare scenario in the entire world is what you brought to me in the first episode. And you said it wasn't scary, and it's terrifying.
Well, when you said scary, I was thinking spooky scary, like poltergeist scary.
No, this is scary.
Okay.
Ghost stuff, yes, but this is super.
I thought you meant like paranormal scary.
I meant all scary.
This
all
is just
scary.
Tragic. This is tragic
and terrifying.
So, anyways, let's see. So, literally, this house burns down to the ground within like 45 minutes. The firefighters finally get there at like 10 a.m. The house is gone. Okay. We're talking like, what is that? Like 7 hours later. 7 hours. They live 2 miles.
It was Christmas Eve though. They were probably all drunk.
Still though, I feel like if I was intoxicated and I was a firefighter, hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out.
Okay.
If I'm a firefighter and this is my job,
mm-hmm.
and I hear that there is a house on fire, and I feel like I would drive the truck drunk to try and save the life. Like, I know, like, you're not supposed to drink and drive, but I feel like at this point,
I think you were allowed to back in 1923.
Well, that's true. I just think there should have been somebody there.
But did they get I thought they couldn't get a hold of anybody.
Well, they couldn't. There was an
operator.
Didn't know. Well, Chief F.J. Morris said the next day that there was already a slow response because there was, the war was going on. So they were low on manpower due to the war.
Yeah.
And then, it wasn't like, you call 911 nowadays. There was no 911 back then.
Right.
So they call, it's a phone tree. So I call you, you call whoever. So that too needs to be taken into account, the phone tree. I mean, but 7 hours is a long time.
But did they get a hold of anybody?
Yeah, they finally showed up at 10 in the morning.
When did they get a hold of them, though?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Keep going, because okay, keep going.
Okay. So, Morris believed that the 5 children were, that they had died in the fire. And they found a couple bone fragments, and they said they found internal organs. They chose not to tell the family. This is not a reliable, this is just what's said. They said they found bone fragments. They said they found organs. Here's my thing. If you're finding an organ, I would think an organ would burn up before bones.
It would.
You know what I mean? Like, because your organs are made of water. And it's going to be like,
Are they made of water?
I mean, yeah, they got lots of water and like blood and crap. So they'd like dry up like a prune, like, dehydrate or whatever.
I mean, I would think that you would find, if you were going to find an organ, you would be finding all the bones.
I mean, it'd be like beef jerky.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it'd be dehydrated like beef jerky.
I don't know.
I just think if there was an actual organ, there would be an actual body, not just bone fragments. So you're telling me this house got hot enough to burn 5 kids? It's a lot of bones. 5 kids up and you find one organ and a couple bone fragments?
No.
Come on. So, Morris told George to leave the site undisturbed so they can call in the state fire marshal to conduct a thorough investigation. But after 4 days, George said him and Jennie could not bear the sight of the aftermath. So he bulldozed 5 feet of dirt over the site. The local coroner convened an inquest the next day and held that the fire was an accident caused by faulty wiring. The death certificates for the 5 kids were issued December 30th. And a local newspaper contradicted itself, saying the bodies had been found, but then the same story reported that part of one body was recovered. So this story constantly goes back and forth with these officials saying, oh yeah, we found this, we found that. No, we didn't find anything. So it's really frustrating. I mean, as a parent, that's so frustrating.
So he just bulldozed over and put dirt over it.
Yeah.
Well, now that there's DNA, could they not go to where the side of the house was and do, DNA testing? We have DNA now.
I mean, we do now, but, after so many years, and you'll see here later in this case, actually, when they start to research it a little bit more, they do actually find.
Well, hold on.
Something.
Okay.
Something.
I actually have a question now, though, about the truck. When you said that it wouldn't run, were the wires cut? Like, was there anything in this about the wires being cut?
So, when...
And do we think this is like the Italian mob because he was like not locked? Like, what's okay? You just go on like that.
So let me just keep going. Okay. So, but you kind of feel like, you're doing exactly what George and Jennie was. Not long afterward, they tried to rebuild, but there was something nagging at them. They started to question all the findings about the fire. Well, if it was electrical problems, their Christmas lights were still on. The power should have gone out. If there's a fire, it's the power's gone. The ladder, that had been missing, was found at the bottom of an embankment 75 feet away.
See, the ladder thing doesn't like, I don't know what the words I'm trying to say, but I mean, the kids, especially if there's a bunch of boys, they could have made that ladder into
Do you know how many times me and my cousin had to use the ladder to get footballs and baseballs off the roof? So I mean, I do. That's not super freaky.
Yeah, that's not.
That's not super freaky. However, a telephone repairman told the Sodders that the house phone line had not been burned through, as they initially thought that it had been cut. They had climbed 14 feet up the pole to cut this phone wire. There was also a man that kind of went around the community, and he went around the community all the time, and he was, what we call scrapping. We call it scrapping here in, West Virginia. You got these people come around your home, they haul off junk, things, they scrap.
Oh, yeah.
So prior to this fire, there was a guy come to George's house. Hey, do you got any scrap? Looking for scrap. And he walks around to the fuse box, the electrical fuse box.
Uh-huh.
And he looks at it and he says, these wires are going to cause a fire someday. And George is like, no, it's not. Because keep in mind, they're pretty wealthy. He owns a business, they're a middle-class family. Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, it's not, because they had just purchased a new state-of-the-art for, the 20s stove. So in doing that, he had the power company come and check and make sure that all the wiring was correct in the house to support, the usage of this new stove. Yeah. So he'd already had this checked out. Mm-hmm. So he's like, that's bullshit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that, that's kind of raising some red flags there. So Jennie had trouble accepting Morris's belief that all traces had been burned completely in the fire. And two, a lot of the household appliances were found. They were still, they were burnt, but they were still recognized, it's a toaster, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever they found. You could still recognize that that's what it was. They found bits and pieces of the tin roof and everything. So old mom, you know how we old moms are. We, you mess with our babies and we get on a tangent and we start thinking and, turning stuff over in our minds. She's thinking and she's recounting. She had read a newspaper of a similar house fire around the same time that killed another family of 7. Skeletal remains of all the victims were found in that house fire. So she's like, this don't make sense to me. So being the badass mom she is, she goes and she gets like animal bones and she starts experimenting by burning these bones to see what it would look like.
Yeah.
If it would happen, if that's what had happened.
Well, she's probably holding out hope that her children are still alive.
Exactly. 2, she even went as far as to ask. She gonna ask them? Yes, she is. She ain't asking nobody. So, she asked what? I can't say that word. What's wrong with you? Am I having a stroke?
No. Have you been drinking?
So she talks to this guy at the local crematorium, and she talks to him and, about bones when they, cremate a body. Those bodies burn at 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Mm-hmm. And they burn longer and hotter than a house fire does. And still, even after that, there's mm-hmm. still pieces of bone left. There's still pieces of bone left. Even when you cremate a body, there's still pieces of bone.
Okay.
So he agrees that that's not plausible, for these kids. So the truck failure that you asked about.
Yes.
That's also considered. George is thinking about this. He thinks it was tampered with, potentially maybe by the same man that had come by looking at the
But why does he think it was tampered with? Was wires cut or something? Like, what was going on?
I mean, it doesn't really say that you would think he would look at the wiring, see if the wiring harness, but another logical explanation is that in his haste to move the truck and, trying to start it vigorously over and over, it's very possible that he could have flooded out.
I feel like I need to know more, like, about vehicles and stuff back then. What year did you say this was?
23.
Well, I mean,
or 45. I'm sorry. The fire was in 1945.
1945.
Yes.
Okay, so never mind. I mean, I don't know about vehicles back then, but I also know that what I was getting ready to say is not correct. So I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. In 23, I think it would have been. Like they had to crank the front of the cars. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
The little hand crates.
I don't know.
These were gasoline. So, I mean.
Weren't they back then? The crank cars gasoline?
I mean, way back then. But these were. What? Oh, you're talking about the ones that you
had to put that little thing in the front of it.
Yeah, they put it and then they crank it up.
Yeah. I know that wasn't a thing in 45.
Right.
But I wasn't for sure. Like, I was thinking this was 1923. Continue.
Right. All right. So, evidence soon emerged indicating the fire had not started due to electrical fault, but they think it was set deliberately. So the driver of a bus actually passed through Fayetteville late Christmas Eve and said he's seen people throwing balls of fire at the house.
See, I knew it. I knew it.
A few months later, when the snow had melted, Sylvia, who's the youngest child, one of the younger children.
Good God.
One of the younger childs.
Switch roles.
Found a small, hard, dark green rubber ball-like object in the brush. And George recalled that, Jennie had heard that thump and then that roll on the roof. And they got looking and they said that it looked like a pineapple bomb or a hand grenade, that they used to make. So it very well could have been some sort of homemade device, like a Molotov cocktail. And also, contrary to what the fire marshal concluded, he said that it started that electrical wiring box, which we know is bullshit because the lights were still on. They actually find out the fire had started on the roof. So, but there was no way, what is he going to do? The officials are going against him saying, no, this was faulty wiring. He knows it's not faulty wiring.
Yeah.
Because he had it checked. So, a few witnesses had actually claimed to see the missing children. A woman who had been watching the fire from the road said she's seen some of them peering out a passing car while the house was burning.
Oh my God.
Another woman at a rest stop between Fayetteville and Charleston, West Virginia, said she'd served them breakfast the next morning and noted the presence of a car with Florida license plates on the vehicle in that parking lot. So the Sodders hired a private investigator named C.C. Tinsley from the nearby town of Gauley Bridge to look into this case, because obviously they're not getting anywhere with Fayetteville PD. So Tinsley informed the family that there was an insurance salesman. So let me go back. There was an insurance salesman. So George worked, initially before he had his trucking company, he worked with this guy. Mm-hmm. And come to find it out, he had taken out a policy on the home, the Sodder home, his business partner.
George's business partner took insurance out on George's home?
On George's home.
Can you do that?
Apparently you could back in 1920s, 30s. So he took this out. And also I read somewhere too that prior to the fire, that his business partner had also tried to up the insurance on the home and convince George to sign life insurance policies.
Here's the thing. George had to be a smart man to build this company.
Absolutely. I think so.
And if he let his friend do that and he thought, oh, okay, I'm just going to let him take out an extra insurance policy and life insurance on me and my family, that is something that a dumb person would do.
Yep.
Like that.
Absolutely.
So maybe, one of the things we say here, and anybody from around this region that would listen to this would know what I'm getting ready to say. It sounds like he was book smart and had no common sense whatsoever.
Well, I mean, that's possible because you do see that a lot. People's like super intelligent.
Friend did that insurance thing, that's motive, but it still doesn't make sense to where the kids are at. Unless,
where's the kids?
I mean, who knows what happened back then? Maybe he not sold them, but adopted. You know, like how old were the kids that were missing? How old were they?
Well, they had kids from the age of 2.
Yeah.
All the way up to, I think their boy in the Army was like 21.
Was it the little kids though that were missing, or was it like
it was a good mix. So there were some smaller age kids, 5s and 6. There was 14, and then I want to say 17.
Well, this whole story is just, I just don't like it.
It's bonkers.
It's just awful. It's just an awful, sad thing. And now I'm thinking that his best friend did it. And this is the first story that you brought to me. And now I'm scared of you. So
why are you scared of me?
Well, because best friends aren't supposed to do that. And now I'm afraid of you. So I'm going to need you to leave.
That's so funny.
I need you to put your tennis shoes on and just get out of my house.
Bye.
Get
Bye.
out.
Your Uber's here.
Just get out. Uber. There's no Uber.
Not out in the holler.
No.
You walking home. So, anywho, so Tinsley tells them that this insurance salesman who had come with his business partner to try and get him to sign that extra contract. And George was like, no, I'm not signing that. So the guy gets pissed off. And because George is anti-fascist, he's against Mussolini, and he's in a heavily Italian community.
Mm-hmm.
And so these guys are like, you know
Mm-hmm.
what?
Mm-hmm.
He was like, and I read a quote somewhere, and he basically told George, he's like, you and your beep kids, he was like, are all going down. So he made a verbal threat. There was, people that heard this guy make a verbal threat. So the guy that had made this threat, he was actually on the coroner's jury that ruled the fire an accident. Bum, bum, bum.
I don't like that.
I know, right? Sound effects.
Yeah,
that's so cool. Little sound effect.
So he was, okay, keep going.
So he also learned rumors around Fayetteville. He said that no remains had been found in the ashes, but Morris, so C.F. Morris, who was the fire marshal at the time,
Mm-hmm.
had found a heart, which we discussed earlier. We've already discussed that. But he said that he found a heart, and he placed that in a metal box and buried it on the home site. Right?
What?
Right?
What?
Morris had apparently confessed this to a local minister, who in turn confirmed it to George. George and Tinsley, the private CI, they went to Morris and confronted him, and he agreed to show them where he buried the metal box. So they dig it up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They took what they found inside to a local funeral director, who examined this and discovered that this was a fresh beef liver that was never exposed to the fire.
I really feel like if DNA was a thing back then, that we would have so many more answers than what we do now.
True that. So more rumors circulated around Fayetteville that Morris had afterwards. He admitted with the box that he put the liver in there.
Oh, hold on. So he admitted,
the fire marshal
admitted that he
bought a beef liver, put it in the box, and buried it.
Why would he do that?
Because he was hoping that the Sodders would be digging in their memorial area, find the box, open it. I don't know how dumb. I mean, have you ever seen, what a liver, chicken liver, you know what a liver is.
Yeah.
You know what a heart looks like.
Yeah.
Doesn't look anything alike.
No.
At all. Right?
Yeah.
So he was hoping that they would open up the box, they'd find the organ, and be like, oh yeah, our kids are dead.
What?
I'm just telling you. I know, it's crazy. This story is bonkers.
I don't even know. I mean, I really don't even know what to say. Like, the story's all over the place. And I just really feel for these parents. It's really okay.
It is super, super
How
sad.
much more like of this? Because I have other questions too about like is there a lot more to it? Is there anybody the kids? It was 1945. If you have a baby, right? If you have a baby in 1945, they could be like old right now. Where are they at? Where are they at?
Just hang on to your horses. They
can't see you shaking your head. I can't.
Hang on to your horses. Okay. You're putting the cart ahead of the horse.
As in life, yes.
Yes. Okay. Slow your roll.
Okay.
Slow your roll.
Okay, I'm waiting.
Okay. So in August of 1949, George was able to persuade Oscar Hunter, who was a Washington, D.C. pathologist, to supervise a new search in the dirt at the house site. Okay, we be getting somewhere. Okay. You ready? Mm-hmm. After a very thorough search, artifacts, including a dictionary that had belonged to the children, mm-hmm. and some coins were found. However, several small bone fragments were unearthed, determined to have been human vertebrae.
See.
The bone fragments were sent to Marshall T. Newman, who was a specialist at the Smithsonian Institution. Mm-hmm. They were confirmed to be lumbar vertebrae, and it was all from the same person. Mm. Quote, he said, since the transverse recesses are fused, meaning the bones are fused, the age of this individual at death should have been 16 or 17 years.
That's so sad.
The top limit of age should be about 22, since the centra, which normally fuses at 23, are still unfused. Mm-hmm. Thus, given this age range, it was not very likely that these bones were from any of the 5 missing children, as the oldest, Maurice, was only 14 at the time.
But
Newman also said that those bones showed 0 sign of exposure to fire.
Well, that could have been before they even built a house on the land, right? It could have been before.
George also took dirt from another place and filled in their basement.
Okay. So now we have another missing person.
We have another body.
That we don't know.
That we don't know where it came from.
And their spinal cord is now on George's property.
So, yeah. Newman agreed that it was very strange that these bones were the only ones that they had found, since a wood fire of such short duration should have left full skeletons of all the children behind.
So the children are
45 minutes.
Somebody's taking
45 minute fire. Somebody's taking the kids.
It's Mussolini.
Mussolini.
I mean, I feel like it's like he's had something done. Like he's had something done. It's awful.
It's awful.
It is awful.
It is awful. So, with the end of official reports or official efforts to resolve the case, the Sodder family did not give up hope. They printed flyers with the kids' pictures. They offered a $5,000 reward, which they soon doubled, and that was a lot of money back then.
That's a lot of money right now.
That's a lot of money right now. I mean, that might buy groceries for like 2 months. But anyways, you get your cheese.
We already talked. Listen, we said we weren't going to talk about religion and politics. So
well, I'm talking about cheese. Okay. I said cheese.
I'm just saying I'm talking about the price of groceries.
Well, okay. Anywho.
Go ahead.
People know. On. So, in 1952, they put up a billboard at the site of the house and another one along U.S. Route 60 near Anstead, with the same information. And it actually is a landmark for traffic driving through Fayetteville on Route 16. Oh, well, today it's Route 16, but it was Route 19. We do. We should. We should go. Road trip. We've not done a road trip in a long time.
We could. That's a day trip for us.
100%. We need to go. Okay.
We should go.
We need to go find the Sodder house.
I don't know if I want to find the Sodder house. I just want to go into an area.
We need to go investigate.
I'm not investigating, Lisa. Listen,
okay.
I don't even like talking about this stuff in the privacy of my home and the comfort of my home with all of the stuff I have to protect me. I don't even like to talk about this kind of thing.
Bringing bad juju?
I don't think it's bringing bad juju, but it just makes me feel uncomfortable. But I would like to go see the area.
Yeah, we would.
I'm not about to walk up on that land. Like, that is not a thing that I'm going to do.
Why?
But now I'll drop you off, and I will go to a
No,
Wendy's.
You got to go with
I'll get
me.
a Wendy's burger.
I'll buy you a coffee.
And I will come back, and I'll pick
We can
you
get
up.
coffee. You have to go with me.
I'm not getting out of that. There's probably people still living. Look, I just want to know if there's kids alive now. Like, I just want to know if there's kids alive now.
So the family also had another reported sighting of the children after the fire.
As a mom, I can't imagine what these two parents went through if they didn't have anything to do with it. I always suspect people, so that's just me. But
people suck.
Like I can't imagine. I mean, we can sit here and talk about it and stuff like we always talk about stuff, but this really happened. Like, this isn't just a story. This really happened, yes. And it's
an actual,
and to have sightings and all this stuff and not have the technology that we have today, which it still happens all the time, but it's
terrible.
It's more than terrible. I don't think there's a word for it, but
could you imagine? Like, I just can't imagine.
Mm-mm.
I just can't imagine.
Mm-mm.
But Ida Crutchfield, a woman who ran a Charleston hotel, claimed to have seen the children approximately a week after. So this is Charleston, West Virginia. She says she can't remember the exact date. She said, but the children had come in, with 2 men and 2 women around midnight. All appeared to be of Italian, descent.
I mean, if some of these kids were older that, or that if they're missing, let's say that they didn't die and they're actually missing, why wouldn't they have said something? Right. Especially if some of them are older kids, like I don't know, or left a note behind or something.
When she attempted to speak to the kids, one of the men looked at her in a hostile manner and turned around and talked rapidly in Italian. So I'm pretty sure he was probably scolding the kill. If you talk to her, I'll kill you.
Yeah.
Who's to say that they weren't threatened? Or they weren't using his.
If they were taken,
they were probably using. If this was them, they were probably using. If you mention anything, we're going to kill your mom and dad, or so they were probably just terrified.
Oh, you brought me the worst story in the world. She's not. I mean, it's just so sad. There's a picture on your paper now. Who's that? Who's that?
So, after that encounter, she said that they woke up and they left early the next morning. She didn't see him again.
Okay, so did she feel off? Like, at that moment, she felt a little off and she didn't call anybody, right?
100%. 100%. She said it was a very strange reaction. She said
something a week later.
She said it was very off-putting, that she was just like, no.
Okay. Well, good for you, lady. Good for you.
So, George followed up on all these leads himself.
Mm-hmm.
Daddy George, you're, as a parent, you would do anything to get your children back. So mm-hmm. He's doing the damn thing. He is following up, all these leads. There was also a woman from St. Louis, Missouri, claimed that Martha, who was one of the children, was being held in a convent.
Oh, my Lord.
There was also a bar patron in Texas claimed to have overheard 2 other people making incriminating statements about a fire that happened on Christmas Eve in West Virginia some years before. However, none of those sightings proved significant when he, tried to investigate these. So in 1967, George went to Houston to investigate another tip. A woman there had written to the family, to George and Jennie, saying that Louis had revealed his true identity to her one night after having too much to drink.
And this is 22 years after, right?
Yep. This is in 67.
After, and then Dad, who is probably obviously he's an old man now.
Yep.
And he's okay.
So she's saying she was set and chatting with Louis, who mm-hmm. was one of the older boys at mm-hmm. the time. And said that he revealed who he was to her one night after having too much to drink. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. She believed that he and Maurice were both living in Texas. However, George and his son-in-law Grover were unable to speak with her. So they denied about it being missing sons. He said years later that the denial lingered in his mind for the rest of his life, that they wouldn't talk to him. So they also received another letter that same year in 1967. This is what they think was the most credible evidence that they've ever gotten.
Okay.
On regarding their kids.
Mm-hmm.
And they really strongly believe that Louis was still alive. So Jennie walks to the mailbox. She finds a letter in the mailbox, and it was postmarked in Central City, Kentucky, with no return address. Inside was this picture of a young man who's about 30 with features that strongly resemble Louis. He would have been in his 30s if he would have survived.
Mm-hmm.
On the back, guess what was written?
I don't know, but I just got cold chills everywhere. Is it something like Mom or something like, am I going to start crying?
Louis Sodder. I love brother Frankie. LLIL boys. A90132 or 35. So, the family hired another private detective to go to Kentucky and look into this letter, and see. However, he never reported back to the Sodders, and they were never able to locate this PI again.
If he was alive, why would he have not? You know what, though? They may have turned him against their parents.
Very true. So the picture nonetheless gave them hope, and they added that picture, which is this picture. And I'll put this on our Instagram. After when we post this episode, I'll put these pictures on Instagram. So you guys can see, but it's got a picture, and when you see the little boy, Louis,
mm-hmm.
his little boy picture, and you see that picture, they're very strong resemblances. Very, very strong.
Has anybody ever done a picture of the kids when they were little and what they, not
like the AI,
the age?
No. And at this time, I think the last thing that I read, the only living child is Sylvia, who was the 2-year-old at the time. So she'd be 70.
So she's alive now?
5-ish.
So she's alive now, though. Like, she's alive. Yeah. Was she in Fayetteville? Do we know?
Hold your horses.
Well,
Jiminy
I just
Christmas.
Want all the answers at one time. I want everything at one time. Just dump all the information out in front of me and just let me have it, everything.
So George admitted to the Charleston Gazette that the lack of information had been like hitting a rock wall, and we cannot go any further. So he vowed to continue, continue his search and researching all of these leads. He said, time is running out for us, but we only want to know. If they did die in a fire, we want to be convinced.
I just don't know why they can't go to the site now and do the DNA thing. Like, pull
Here's
even
why.
If it was,
George Sodder died in 1969.
I'm talking about just like people.
Sylvia?
Is it still, it's an unsolved case, right?
It's still unsolved to this day.
So why can they not do so? I don't
know. You would think that, they would take, all the state of art. What is it that goes in the ground? Not ultrasound. What is it that they send?
I have no idea.
That reads.
What you're talking about?
You can go over the ground and you can look at stuff under the ground. For the life of me.
Sonar?
Thank you. Yes. Why can they not go looking sonar, and see?
But if it's fragments, it wouldn't be.
No, that's true.
I would think they could just dig the dirt up and like go through it and do something and look through it and see like pieces of bone or something.
I don't know.
And then if that lady's alive, they can see if it's a match.
Oh, that's true. I don't know. It's weird.
You couldn't think of sonar?
I couldn't think. I was wanting to say like X-ray for some reason, like X-ray of the ground, which is kind of the same thing.
It's not.
What kind of?
I don't feel like it is.
So George died in 1969. Jennie and her surviving children, except John, who never talked about the night of the fire,
wonder why.
Says that the family should accept what happened and moved on with their lives.
Okay.
Continuing to seek answers to the questions about the missing children's fate. After George's death, Jennie stayed in the family home. They rebuilt the side of it. She put up a fence around it, added additional rooms, and for the rest of her life since the accident, this mourning mother, only wore black and spent her life tending to the little garden at the site of the burnt home.
She wore black
the rest of her life.
For the rest of her life.
For the rest of her life. After her death in 1989, they finally took the weathered, worn billboard down.
The what?
The weathered, worn billboard down.
Oh,
the billboard
okay.
that they had put up.
The billboard. Yep. Okay.
So, their surviving Sodder children, joined by their own children, so at this point we've got grandkids of George and Jennie, continued to publicize the case and investigate leads. Mm-hmm. They, along with older Fayetteville residents, have theorized that the Sicilian Mafia was trying to extort money from George, and the children may have been taken by someone who knew about the planned arson and said that they would be safe if they left the house. They were possibly taken back to Italy. If the children had survived all those years and were aware their parents and siblings survived too, the family believes they may have avoided contact in order to keep them from harm. So this goes back to what we were talking about like why these kids were old enough to talk, obviously. Why at the restaurant or at the hotel, why didn't they say, hey, we've been stolen?
I don't think that they're alive. I really don't think that they're alive. I think that they died in the fire because there was way too many. How many were they? 4 or 5 kids?
There were five kids missing. Yep.
Okay. Out of 5 kids, I think that, if they had made it to adulthood. Now, if they were taken and then they didn't live very long, that's another story.
Right.
But if they were taken and made it to adulthood and didn't say anything, I just don't see that happening. I just don't see that.
So what's your theory on this?
I just told you my theory on this.
So here's my theory.
Okay.
I do not think these kids died in that fire.
Oh, I think they did.
100% they did not.
1,000% they did.
Let me tell you.
Okay.
You got 5 bodies in a house fire. This house fire burnt to the ground 45 minutes.
Yes.
5 bodies. Mm-hmm. Fire coming from the roof.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And nothing? No screams? They never heard screams. You got 5 kids in the house. They wake up and they're screaming.
They may not have woken up. Listen, if they had, I think that they died in those fires. I think they were asleep. I mean,
they could have died due to smoke inhalation. Yes. Absolutely. However, 5 bodies burning, flesh burning, you would have freaking smelled that. You would have smelled that, Samantha.
I don't know anything about a fire. I feel like I'm not even.
Have you not ever smelled
like on this.
Burnt animals and stuff? Like
no, burnt, why would you?
Oh my God! It's like burnt?
Why have you smelled?
That's another story.
Burnt animals.
It's another story.
What are you?
Who are you?
Who are you? What are you?
You would have smelled it. You always read about, these house fires and they're talking about the smell of burnt. Like it's not, it's a smell. Listen,
never.
Google it. It is a smell that is really distinguishable. And 5 bodies in a house, burnt flesh, burnt hair. I know you've smelled burnt hair before.
But you're thinking, okay, if you're just, I have had some cooking accidents and I have smelt burnt hair before. So, and it's very strong. But you have to think about all the other smells. If we're just going on the smell thing here, you have to think about everything in that house that would smell. Why are we on smell, Elisa?
I just 5 bodies burnt, no screams, no smell. I really think so here's what happened.
Okay.
Hear me out.
Okay.
George and Jennie goes upstairs to go to bed. Marion falls asleep on the couch.
Yeah.
These kids go outside getting ready to go to bed. They're going to feed whatever, the farm animals. They get kidnapped.
Okay.
Gone.
Okay. So what if the kids, when they went out there, ran into the people who were going to come in to burn the house?
Exactly.
So that's plausible. I'm saying that's plausible. But then I believe that they maybe done something terrible then and maybe took took them, because I just don't see 5 children growing up to be adults confessing. And you know that we hear this all the time. People confess to crap that they didn't do, or I'm this person. And I mean, there's 15 Elvises right now in the United States that says they're Elvis. So I just don't see that. I just don't see them not saying, hey,
I'm so-and-so.
Right. And
I'm
then
a
that
Sodder
one
kid.
picture, even though he looks like it, everybody has a doppelganger.
True.
You know, and if those people were still wealthy, if George and Jeannie were still wealthy, he may have wanted some money and then maybe got a conscience about it.
That's true. I don't know. 5 bodies is a lot. To not find any bone fragments.
But it's 1945. They had nothing.
I don't know, man. It's bones. Like, human bones are big. They're, what, 205? 205 bones in a body?
I have no idea.
I think it's like 205 bones in a body.
I feel like you're probably maybe wrong about that, Elisa. And now we're
Google. I swear it's like 201, 205 bones in the human body.
I mean, that sounds right.
Google.
I'm Googling how.
So times that by 5. That's a lot of bones. You can't tell me they didn't find any bones. Those kids did not burn. Those kids did not.
So Google says that there are 206. So you're wrong. And now you sound
silly.
I
was still close.
You sound silly.
Really close.
You sound
206.
Silly. You sound silly.
I was one off. So anyways, you guys tell us what you think. You know, comment, go, you know, you can email us at watchfordearpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram at watchfordearpodcast. Go like and follow the Facebook page, Watch for Dear Podcast. Go comment, go check us out, go like, follow, subscribe. Let us know what you think happened to the Sodder kids. And if you guys have another suggestion for our next episode, please let us know. And we really hope you enjoyed the episode. Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on episode number 2. And watch for deer.